So how you doing out there? It's feeling pretty intense, and I would say if you're connected, you will be really feeling things right now. I feel that there's a huge amount of intensity that is happening that will be shifting, and I have felt that in my body today. My whole neural system became quite emotional and rattled, shall I say, and not only because of own personal things, time of the month, but also what shook me was the how blind people are to what is going on in the world. And you think most people must be able to see what is happening in the place of power with Israel and Palestine. And there was just two individuals, one actually a Marine that is say supporting, so the British Marine supporting Israel, and then somebody else completely agreeing with it as well. And it just threw me, it just completely threw me, because there's this part of me that holds this intense like knowing, and whether you want to call it more hope, but knowing that things will change, everything is happening, and it's the chaos that we see in the world is because it's coming from a place that is powerful love, this unconditional love, this coming from the feminine, the mother earth. It's that this huge intensities that's added into the cosmic like weather and everything that's aligning right now as well, and to help to get us back to our power, to our sovereignty, to look at where we've given it away, to where it's people, governance, religion, and the power that it's force, that it's the power to control rather than your own inner power. And, I have this kind of real trust that it's all happening for a reason, and people are going to be waking up to this. And then when you have two individuals that are very blinded by the propaganda and the narrative that we have here, and it shook me to my core. Like, I was pretty emotional, like I couldn't quite breathe. When I don't really get like that. I'm normally like, okay, let's ground and move through, but it felt huge. And so as I'm talking through this, it feels like it's not just my emotion. And I was reading something that how women feel the collective, and I'm not saying men don't, because there's a lot of men out there that are pure, very tuned into their feminine side in that connection. But women, with our wombs, with our menstrual cycle, we are so connected into like the moon and earth and life itself, because we produce, we create life. And so we feel it. Our nervous systems are there to feel things and to, I guess, to try and see situations, to resolve, to bring compassion to situations, to help keep community together, which is often the problem with women, is that they take that all on, and then that becomes an overloading to the nervous system. This is often a survival pattern that women would take on, this like to keep harmony, to keep the peace. And like I say, this isn't just women, but you can imagine what's happened to women over the thousands of years and what comes through the generational trauma. We carry that through our DNA and in our nervous system, in our blood and our bones. But men equally will have this, especially if they've experienced childhood trauma too, and especially if their mother wound as well. If they haven't had a mother that was really there emotionally for them in a loving, unconditional way, they will have that too. And so what we do is we take on the responsibility, because our nervous systems don't have the fear of disharmony. So to try and keep the peace, we sacrifice our inner peace. And so we take on responsibilities, and we're overthinking things and take responsibility so we don't get the chaos and the massive fuck up, basically. That's what we're trying to negate. But what we do is we overload our systems with that. We're taking on responsibilities of others that are not ours. And what we have to realise, if we've got that backpack of responsibility sitting on our shoulders, filled with those rocks, basically, of somebody else's responsibility, how can they access their responsibility if we're carrying it? And so we have to, as our empaths and our learned behaviours, have to offer that back into the void, But we have to control and calm our nervous systems to be able to do that, because otherwise the nervous system will be going, holy fuck, don't do that, because chaos is going to reign. And so we have to really find our inner safety, our inner peace and calm before we can do that. And then it doesn't mean someone's going to take that responsibility. They may choose to still be ignorant and not take it, and we can still hold compassion for those that still do that. But at least we're offering them the opportunity to do that. And I see this is going to be where the significant shift is when those empaths hold back, give back that responsibility by doing their own inner nervous system, soft calming, basically grounding in connection. And what's been really coming through for me is that how I can support women especially to do this. And it's been really interesting, there's what I've experienced today, and then having someone come in and talk to me, and I'm a lady in this really high powered role that takes on the responsibility, and she's stressed, she's overworked, burnt out, and really quite miserable from it. And menopause and adds into that, which is like the soup of trying to get us back to ourselves. And so our body will start to show signs, or where what we call symptoms of menopause is actually when it's calling us to try and return back to our power and our belief systems and our conditioning and our generational trauma and all that sits very deep in our bodies to bring back into alignment, to alchemize. And so what I've been shown is that I am here to support these women in very, very powerful or just big roles where they're taking in responsibility, where they can make huge shifts and change through inspiration. But who's holding them? Who's holding their nervous system and supporting them to have that calm and that inner peace and that groundedness to enable that shift in their organization? And or if they're bringing big things into this world and it may be on their own, how does their nervous system hold that space? And so this is what I have been shown that's for me as a role, to be able to hold these women. And there may be a couple of men coming in here as well that need that, and this will be speaking to you if you're listening to it. And to hold them, to know that they're safe, that they know someone's got them, someone understands them, someone sees them, and so that they can then initiate this process to make those massive shifts that they're here to make. And this is about women supporting women, and this is about women understanding their power as well, and how sensitivity isn't a curse. We just have to be able to give ourselves the space and the stillness to process it, because that sensitivity, that connection, there's an intelligence there, there's a message there, there's a wisdom there, but we need to be able to be in that calm, to be able to tune into that. Like with our bleeds, because of the systems that we're constantly pushing through our cycle, and we wonder why we're exhausted. And we see like in our bleed is a negative thing. It's often holds so much shame attached to it and stuff, and it's just a big inconvenience. Whereas actually it's huge intelligence right there if we gave ourselves that space and that time to just rest in it. Okay.